Hello, and welcome to the 2021-2022 Employee Benefits Open Enrollment for Freeland Auto. If you're an employee of Ascend Auto Finance, Auto Masters, Freeland CDJR, Freeland Chevrolet, or Moss Marino, we'll be discussing your employee benefits options for the next year during this presentation. My name is Mike Dodd. I am one of the insurance consultants that works with Freeland to help put the best benefits plans in place that are possible for all of the employees. As I said, it is open enrollment. Open enrollment is the one time a year that you can make changes to your benefits. This is the rule unless you have a relevant qualifying event. Qualifying events are things like marriage and divorce, birth or adoption of a child, a death of a dependent, separation, a change in your spouse's or dependent's employment status or their ability to get insurance benefits through their employment, and other events. Any changes you make during this open enrollment will be effective on December 1st, 2021. And all full-time employees who work 30 or more hours and have completed 60 days of employment are eligible to enroll. Open enrollment has started, and it will continue until November 10th. You do need to make elections during the open enrollment period, or you will not be enrolled for coverage after December 1st. So please pay attention to that and make your elections before enrollment closes on November 10th. This year, you will see there are very few changes to the benefits that are being offered, and we'll cover those changes during this presentation. United Healthcare is still the health insurance carrier, and we have 3 plans from which you can choose. 2 plans are HSA, Health Savings Account plans, and 1 plan is a plan that has copays. In these plans, we use 2 networks. One is referred to as the core network. This is a network that excludes St. Thomas hospitals and some doctors, so please pay attention to that if you choose that plan. The other HSA plan is a plan that uses the Choice Plus network. That is United Healthcare's full network. That will include all local hospitals and almost all doctors. The copay plan also uses the core network that excludes St. Thomas hospitals. There are only 2 changes to the plans. First, specialty drugs will have a higher cost. Specialty drugs are very expensive drugs. Typically, they're going to be the types of drugs you see advertised on television, and that won't even be a hard and fast rule here. We are talking about the most expensive drugs. When we ran an analysis, there were virtually no employees impacted by this change. The other change is the pharmacy network will now exclude a few pharmacies, such as CVS and Target. The pharmacy network is based on Walgreens, but also includes many other retail locations, such as Kroger, Publix, and other retail pharmacies. We suggest that you go to myuhc.com to determine if your pharmacy is in the network. As I mentioned, United Healthcare is the provider. There are the 2 networks that we talked about. Again, core network is a smaller network that does not include St. Thomas hospitals. Choice Plus network is a full network that includes all hospitals. Please note that if you live outside of the state of Tennessee, you will have to choose the Choice Plus network plan. The core network is not available outside the state of Tennessee. And we do suggest that you always check your providers. You can see the 3 plans on the screen. They are the same as last year with the 2 changes that I mentioned. The core network HSA plan has a $5,000 deductible. Once you meet that deductible, you have 50% coinsurance until you reach an out-of-pocket maximum of $6,250. Everything you do in that plan will be subject to your deductible and coinsurance, with 2 exceptions. The first is preventive services. These are things like your annual physical, well woman exams, well child exams, flu shots, COVID shots, anything that the federal government has deemed to be a preventive service will be covered at 100%, meaning you will not pay for those services. Also, preventive drugs will have a copay of $10, $35, or $60. Preventive drugs are going to be drugs for things like blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, emotional health, contraceptive. These are the kind of drugs that you take on a daily basis. They're sometimes called maintenance drugs, and there will be a list of those drugs in the enrollment portal. The second plan is the Core Network Copay Plan. It also has a $5,000 deductible with 50% coinsurance to an out-of-pocket maximum of $7,500. However, in this plan, primary care office visits are covered at $35. So you pay a $35 copay to visit a primary care doctor. And your drugs will have a copay of 10, 40%, or 50%. So your drugs will have a lower cost in that plan. We suggest this plan for someone who is okay with the smaller network, the core network, and who needs copays for drugs or for a doctor visit. And the third plan is the Choice Plus Network HSA plan. This plan does have a smaller deductible. It's $4,000 deductible with 50% coinsurance. The out-of-pocket maximum is $6,750. It works just like the Core Network HSA plan. Everything is subject to your deductible, with the exception of the preventive services and the preventive drugs. One thing to note is the preventive service rule applies to all three plans. So in all three plans, you will be able to get those preventive services at no copay or deductible cost to you. And as I mentioned, specialty drugs will have a copay, $10, $150, or $500. Now, this copay will not apply before you meet your deductible in the HSA plans, so we think it'll have a very minimal impact on people in those plans. And if you're in the copay plan, you will pay $10, $150, or $500. Again, as I mentioned, these drugs are the most expensive drugs on the market. We see these drugs sometimes cost $3, $4, $5, up to $20,000 a month. So these drugs will have a higher cost. And as a reminder, CVS and Target are not in the network for pharmacy. And again, always check myuhc.com for both doctors and pharmacy network. The rates are the same as last year. So we are very happy to let you know that. That is not the usual in health insurance. So we are very happy to let you know that your payroll deductions will not be changing. So if you are in the Choice Plus Network HSA plan, you have employee-only coverage, you're paying $31.86 right now. You will continue to pay $31.86. And as I mentioned, that is a very unusual thing in health insurance these days. There are a few things we'd like to remind you about your health insurance. I've mentioned a few times, myuhc.com. This is a great website that lets you review your account balances, compare cost for procedures and providers, track your balances for your deductibles and your out-of-pockets, see all your claims activities. You can see your explanations of benefits. You can see what claims are pending. You also have the option to talk to a nurse through myuhc.com. And we do like to remind you each year ways that you can maximize your benefits. First, always make sure to use network providers. Through network providers, you will always get a better cost. Your deductible will be lower. You'll be able to access copays if you're in the copay plan. If you go out of network, you will have a higher cost. So that goes back to always checking myuhc.com for providers. Also, use generic medications when you can. Don't forget, you can get $4 generic prescriptions outside of the health insurance plan at Kroger, Target, and Walmart. You can get free antibiotic and diabetic drugs at Publix. Publix also has free blood pressure medication. So shopping a little bit will help you save money. We always recommend that you look at goodrx.com. GoodRx has discounts for prescription drugs. You can put the prescription that you're taking, the pharmacy you want to visit, or your zip code and see all pharmacies and see how much the drug costs. You can shop and see which is a better deal. Is the health insurance going to give you a better price, or will GoodRx? If GoodRx will, print out the GoodRx coupon and give it to the pharmacist. And then the other thing that will help you save money is to use Teladoc. Teladoc is a service that is provided for any employee who signs up for health insurance through any of the 3 plans that we're offering. Through Teladoc, you can talk to a doctor 24/7, 365 days a year, and you have no copay for your consultation. And this is because Mr. Freeland has purchased Teladoc for everyone on the health insurance plan. Through the health insurance plan, you do have a telemedicine option, but you will pay a copay to use it. However, by using Teladoc that is provided to you, you will pay no copay. Teladoc, when you contact the service and ask to speak to a doctor, you will typically receive a phone call from a board certified doctor who is licensed in your state in about 10 minutes. So what happens is you let Teladoc know where you are. If you're in Tennessee, if you're on vacation in Florida, tell them you need to speak with the doctor, and the doctor will contact you. At that point, you have a consultation with the doctor for no cost. If the doctor needs to prescribe medication for you, he or she will do so. They will call that medication into the pharmacy of your choice, and you will pay for the medication, but you will not pay to talk to the doctor. And Teladoc is used for routine health issues. Things like sinus problems, sore throat, UTI, pink eye, bronchitis, stuffy nose, flu, cough. In addition, Teladoc doctors can also give you a short-term refill of prescriptions. So they cannot give you narcotics, but other drugs they can. As a personal example, I was running out of a prescription, about to go on a vacation, and could not get in to see my doctor. So therefore, I contacted Teladoc. The Teladoc doctor got me actually a 90-day supply of my medication. So always remember that you have Teladoc. We always tell people that once you use it, you won't forget it because everyone is happy when they use it. But it is a great service. And again, it is 24/7. So you could call and talk to a doctor on the way to work, on the way home from work, on your lunch break, on the weekend. So it doesn't require you to take off work and go to a doctor and sit in a waiting room. And over the last year and a half, I think a lot of us would not like to sit around a lot of sick people at the doctor. So Teladoc is there for you. Please make sure to remember that you have access to that service. So earlier, when I was talking about the health insurance plans, I mentioned that 2 of the plans, both a core network and a Choice Plus network plans, are HSA plans, health savings account plans. So what is a health savings account? That is a personal savings account for your medical expenses. We use a company called Pinnacle Financial Partners, or Pinnacle Bank, for those savings accounts. And basically, a health savings account is a bank account that's paired with your health insurance plan. You own this account. This is no different than your checking account. It is just a specific medical checking account. And you use that account to pay for current or future medical expenses. And remember, this is only for employees who participate in one of the 2 HSA health insurance plans. So why should you have an HSA? HSAs have a lot of advantages, and I think a lot of employees at Freeland know this because we've used these plans for several years. However, a few things that are important to remember. Unused funds roll over from year to year. So this is not a use it or lose it situation. So you're able to defer a portion of your pay, any amount you want. It can be $10 a paycheck. It can be $50 a paycheck. Defer that amount into your health savings account and use those funds to pay for your medical expenses. If you do not use those funds in a given calendar year, that money will just roll over. You will get tax savings. As I mentioned, you can defer money from your pay into your health savings account. That money never gets taxed if you use it for qualified medical expenses. You can also use it for things like dental and vision. You can also use it for things that are not covered by health insurance, things like acupuncture. There's an entire list provided by the IRS that will give you an idea what you can use that money for, but most employees use it for medical, dental, and vision expenses. but those funds are not taxed, so it is a savings to you. Once you get a certain amount of money in your account, you do have investment opportunities. And the key is the account is portable. That means that if you leave Freeland, you take the account with you. No one at Freeland knows how much money you have in your account. They don't know what you've used the money for. They simply can deposit money into the account for you. And as a reminder, the contribution limits in 2022 have gone up. They are $3,650 if you have individual coverage, or $7,300 if you have family coverage. If you are 55 years old or older, you can also put an additional $1,000 in. So if you're wanting to max out, you can put in those amounts. So that's a summary of the health insurance plans. And again, the key to remember is only the two changes: specialty drugs having a higher copay and the pharmacy network change. We have made a couple of changes to dental insurance, and you'll see the main one on the screen. United Healthcare is our new dental provider. And this year you will have two dental plans from which you can choose. We've done this to provide you with a lower cost alternative if your dentist participates in the network. So the first plan is what is called the MAC plan. Sometimes we'll call it the base plan. It's going to have a lower cost than our current plans. The UCR, or the buyout plan, is going to have a similar cost to current. A few people will have a higher cost on the UCR plan. The difference in the plans really has to do with how out-of-network dentists are paid. There's very little difference if you use a network dentist. However, if you use an out-of-network dentist in a MAC plan, the dentist is going to get paid a lower amount. So you could owe more if you go out of network. In the UCR plan, the dentist will get paid more. So you would owe less if you go out of network. So again, the difference of the plans really comes down to, is your dentist in network? If your dentist is in network, you can use either plan you want to. If your dentist is not in network, I highly recommend that you choose the UCR plan. If you choose the MAC plan, you will have additional cost above what you're paying today. You can search for your providers again at myuhc.com. The MAC network is the National Options PPO 20 network, and the UCR is the National Options PPO 30. You'll see those networks when you log into myuhc.com. So the summary of benefits for the MAC plan, this plan is very, very similar to the current plan. You have a $50 deductible for anything above preventive services. So preventive services have no deductible and they have no cost. That's going to be your twice-a-year cleaning, your once-a-year x-rays. If you have anything else that you need to have done, you'll have a $50 deductible for an individual, up to $150 for a family. So you could have up to three $50 deductibles for your family. During a calendar year in the MAC plan, you can spend up to $1,500 per person, or United Healthcare will pay up to $1,500 per person. And preventive services are not included in that number. If your children need orthodontics, and orthodontia is a child benefit, children under the age of 19, there is a $1,000 lifetime benefit. As I mentioned, preventive services are covered at 100%. Basic services are covered at 90% after your deductible, meaning that United Healthcare will pay 90%, you'll pay 10%. Major services are split 60-40 with United Healthcare, and orthodontic services are 50%, both with United Healthcare and you. And the rates, you'll see those rates are cheaper. For instance, the employee-only rate, it was almost $14 with last year. Every other rate has gone down. So if your doctor is in network, I'd highly recommend you to look at this MAC plan and choose it and save some money from your paycheck. The UCR plan, you're going to see, looks almost identical. The only change is how those out-of-network dentists are paid. And the UCR plan does have a $2,000 per person annual expense benefit. While it does seem intuitive to buy the best plan, very few people use more than $1,500 of services. So this plan is a Cadillac type plan. So we do want to make sure that you use this plan if you need those services or if your dentist is not in network. And you'll see the rates there. You'll see that they are, for employee only, they're a few dollars a paycheck less. For family, they're significantly lower. So by all means, check to see if your dentist is in network and choose the plan based on that knowledge. Vision will also be moving to United Healthcare. We are trying to simplify things for you guys so that you'll be using one carrier for everything. You'll see the network on the screen. It is different than the Blue Cross Blue Shield network. The United Healthcare network will include Sam's, Walmart, VisionWorks. Warby Parker is an online service, but we also have Warby Parker in Nashville. We're one of the few cities that has a Warby Parker store. So you can go there or order online. And there are independent providers available to you. Again, the network is at myuhc.com. The plan is the same as last year. You will pay $10 to get your eyes checked. You will pay $25 for your materials if you order glasses. If you order glasses, you'll get a $150 allowance towards your frames, plus 30% off the balance. You'll also get a $150 allowance towards contacts if you choose contacts. And you will be able to do each of these things every 12 months, an eye exam, get new lenses or new frames. Because we are changing carriers, you will be able to use that as soon as you have a card in your hand after December 1st. So if you've just gotten a pair of glasses and you need to order contacts sometime after December 1st, feel free to go get contacts or vice versa. And the rates are slightly cheaper than last year's rates. So you will see those in the portal, but you will save a little money on vision coverage this year. So that's a high level overview of our medical, dental, and vision plans, along with Teladoc and health savings accounts. Each of these products is provided by United Healthcare, like we mentioned. Then we have a group of products that are life and disability products that are provided through Unum. First, we have base life insurance. Base life insurance is a life insurance policy that is provided to all full-time employees. Mr. Freeland pays for this for you, and everyone receives a $20,000 life insurance benefit. You also have provided for you accidental death and dismemberment coverage equal to 1 times the basic amount, or $20,000. So this basically means that if you passed away in an accident, you would get $20,000 of life insurance and $20,000 of accidental death insurance. So your beneficiary would get $40,000. It's a very generous benefit provided for you by Mr. Freeland. The coverage does end on the day you terminate. You can convert that policy to an individual policy within 30 days of leaving. You need to contact Tracy Locke on that. And benefits will begin reducing when you hit age 65. So there are some reductions when you hit age 65. Those documents are in the portal, so you can review those. While Mr. Freeland provides $20,000 of life insurance, and that is very generous, and that will pay for a funeral, sometimes $20,000 is not enough. So we do offer you the ability to purchase additional life insurance called voluntary life insurance. This life insurance is purchased in $10,000 increments, and it does include accidental death coverage. So anything you purchase will double in an accidental death. There are guaranteed issue amounts for new employees of $110,000 for employee, $30,000 for spouse, and $10,000 for children. If you are already employed and you did not elect coverage last year, you cannot take advantage of these guaranteed issue amounts, and you'll have to answer some health questions to get approved. However, it's only health questions. There are no physical examinations. So you will be able to apply and get a decision just on paper if you can get additional coverage. The cost is based on your age, and these benefits also begin to reduce at age 65. And there's a high level of what the plans cost. So for instance, if you're 40 years old, every $10,000 of coverage is going to cost you $1.25 a paycheck. So if you wanted $100,000 of coverage, that's $12.50. If you wanted $10,000, it's $1.25. Dependent children are $1 for every $10,000 of coverage. So basically it's $2 a month for $10,000 of coverage for your kids. And that is whether you have 1 or 20 children, it's the same price, $1 per paycheck. And spouse rates are the same as the employee. As I mentioned, if you did not elect coverage in the past, you will have to answer health questions. However, if you purchased any level of coverage last year, you can increase to the guaranteed issue limit with no health questions asked. For example, if you purchased $10,000 of coverage in 2020, you can buy up to $110,000 of coverage on yourself with no questions asked. So last year, we encouraged everyone to really consider buying a minimal amount of coverage, and this was the reason. So you can increase. So when you go to enroll, it will tell you you need to fill out some health questions. When the enrollment's processed, it will be automatically approved. So keep that in mind. If you want to increase your coverage level, you can do so at this open enrollment regardless of health. In addition to life insurance, we also offer disability insurance. And disability benefits are paycheck insurance. So a lot of us would probably not be working today if we didn't have to. A lot of us would be at the beach or we'd be doing something else, but we need a paycheck. So what happens if you have a medical issue or an accident or an injury that will not allow you to come to work? That's where disability benefits step in. It is for non-work related injuries or all illnesses. Work-related injuries are covered by workers' comp, of course. And these benefits are considered non-taxable. So that means that if you become disabled, you receive a payment, and that payment will not get taxed. So you will see here that short-term disability will begin on the 15th day of your disability. Those benefits will be paid weekly. And the percentage of income that gets replaced is 60% of your weekly salary. So while 60% doesn't sound like a lot, remember, those benefits are not taxed. And you likely have 25 to 30% of your income taxed. So this gets you pretty close to your take-home pay. Short-term disability can continue for 11 weeks, and your maximum benefit is $1,000 per week. So 60% of your salary up to $1,000 a week. Once you have short-term disability and short-term disability runs out after those 11 weeks, long-term disability steps in. Long-term disability starts on day 91. Those benefits are payable on a monthly basis. Again, it's 60% of your monthly salary. The benefits will end when you reach your Social Security retirement age, so 65, 66, or 67, depending on your age. And that maximum benefit's $5,000 per month. We offer both of these plans because some people have different needs. Short-term disabilities are more likely to happen, but they're a short-term thing. They will only last, after your 2 weeks of waiting, your what they call your waiting period, then the benefit will last for 11 weeks. Long-term disabilities are a lot less frequent. However, they're bigger. Think about if you're 30 years old and you become disabled and you can't work for the rest of your life. Unum is going to send you a check, a monthly check, for 60% of your current salary until you get to Social Security retirement age, until you can claim Social Security. So both benefits are hugely important. I feel like they get missed sometimes. So they are very, very important. If you did not elect that coverage last year, you will have to answer health questions to purchase the coverage this year. Again, it's just health questions. There are no physical exams, no blood draws, or anything like that. And last but not least, we also offer Aflac benefits. We have 4 plans that are available through Aflac. The accident plan pays you cash benefits in the case of an on or off the job accident. So I mentioned earlier, short-term disability does not pay for an on-the-job accident, but Aflac does. So Aflac will pay you for that accident in addition to workers' comp. There's a critical illness and cancer plan. So that's going to pay you a lump sum cash benefit if your family member is diagnosed or experience a critical illness. There are things like cancer, heart attack, stroke, organ transplants, kidney failures, those big things. So through that plan, you can purchase coverage For instance, if you purchase a $20,000 critical illness plan and you have a heart attack or you're diagnosed with cancer, you're going to get a $20,000 check in the mail. Hospitalization insurance are going to pay you benefits if you are admitted to a hospital, you have a covered hospital stay. And last but not least is whole life insurance. I mentioned earlier that you have voluntary life insurance available. Whole life insurance is a little different. Whole life insurance is where you lock in a price at your current age and you pay that until you pass away. So the cost never goes up. If you remember on the voluntary life insurance, it would go up over time. So some people like whole life insurance because they know that that coverage will not go away. And it's important to remember that Aflac pays you. Aflac doesn't pay your doctors. Aflac doesn't pay anyone else but you. So I mentioned the cancer critical illness plan, that if you had cancer and you got a $20,000 check, you use that $20,000 for anything you want. It's highly likely that you're going to have a lot of expenses if you're fighting cancer. You're going to have travel expenses. You're going to miss some work. You're going to have to do lots of different things. So that plan is going to pay you, and you can use those benefits to pay your mortgage, pay your rent, buy groceries, or go buy a car, go buy a boat. It's your money to do what you want. So just keep in mind that that's what Aflac's for. Aflac has paid many employees benefits over the years at Freeland. And quite frankly, they like paying. They are excellent at paying employees. A couple of the plans, including the accident plan, have a wellness benefit built in. That wellness benefit will allow you to get a payment just for doing some of the things you're already doing. Annual physicals, eye exams, dental exams. So if you have the accident plan and you have not filed your wellness benefit, please see our Aflac representatives to talk to us about that. And here is rates for those plans. You can see an employee only for accident plans, $11.16. Hospitals, $10. Critical illness and cancer is based on your age and the level of coverage. The screen says to see our Aflac reps. You'll also see those rates in the enrollment portal. Speaking of our enrollment portal, the enrollment will be done through Employee Navigator. It's the same website you guys used last year to do your enrollment. You can enroll both on a computer or on your phone. You can go to the Employee Navigator website and enroll directly on your phone. When you get the welcome email for open enrollment, it'll have a link. If you're a registered Employee Navigator, just click the link, sign in. We know that many people will have forgotten their password. It's okay, you can reset your password, sign in and make your enrollment elections. If you have not registered for some reason, if you're a new employee, you will need to log in and register. There'll be a link on the registration. There'll be instructions in the email you receive. So make sure you register, and then you'll walk through your enrollment. You should have received a welcome email on Monday, October 25th from Employee Navigator. If you do not get that email, we would ask that you would email info@weshaw.com or check with Tracy Locke. You do have to log in and complete your elections. Again, I mentioned earlier, if you do not make elections by November 10th, you will not be enrolled for coverage for the next calendar year. The IRS requires us to capture these elections on an annual basis, so you do have to do so. You will get many reminder emails between now and then. The quicker you log in and do your enrollment, the quicker those emails will stop. So a good incentive to make sure you go ahead and get your elections done. Again, they must be completed by November 10th. That is a high-level overview of the benefits provided by Freeland. We will be doing some informational meetings going over this same information a couple different days. We'll be doing it on October 26th and November 3rd. You also, if you have questions, you can email info@weshaw.com. So it's WESHAW.com, or call our office at 615-264-2065, and we'll be glad to help you get enrolled. We appreciate you guys. We've had a long-standing relationship with Freeland, and we do really enjoy working with you guys. So if you need anything from us, always let us know. Thanks so much, and we will see you in person soon.